My fellow Xeno fans, the time has come. The long-awaited Xenoblade 3 discussion video. I know, at least 5 of you have been waiting for this, but yeah, it's finally here. But before we begin, let's just get this out of the way. Super spoilers. I'm going to be spoiling everything. Well, everything important to the story and whatnot, obviously. So, this might be the best Xenoblade game ever. Or, yeah, at least Xenoblade, because I haven't played Saga or Gears or X or anything like that, but just from the three mainline games, 1, 2, 3, this might be my favorite. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, my experience with the game. So, the very first cutscene, I saw Alchemath and already lost my shit. I'm like, yes, this is what I want. This is the game. This is the game. And, but yeah, we get straight into the first battle, and it kind of reminds me of the first game with the Battle of Sword Valley, and it was being a Xenoblade 1 bias fan, it immediately got me hooked, I guess. In terms of gameplay at first, of course, it teaches you auto attacks and shit. I'm like, and like the tutorials in this game, they might be a bit hand-holdy this time around, but it makes sense because 2's tutorials weren't really that, but this is like the exact opposite, and it's not the best, but it doesn't last too long, the tutorials, so that's that's okay. But yeah, the first sequence was really great. I really enjoyed that, and yeah, chapter 1 does a great job introducing the characters and the world that they're in. As typical with the Xenoblade games, the world building is excellent as usual. Let's see. Oh man, the music already the music at the very beginning already gets you pumped. It's really, you're gonna hear that a lot. It's really good. It's really great. Really great game. Buy the game. I'm gonna skip ahead to the first Mobius fight, or Wild Ride or whatever. Yeah, Wild Ride is basically Munkar 2.0, and I'm completely fine with that because if he was just monologuing or doing his little speech, oh yeah, I'm evil because I'm evil. No, he's dancing around and shit, just sitting all smug, just waiting for you to make your move. Oh my god, I love Wild Ride. I guess I'll call him that. Yeah, and when chapter 2 begins and you play as no, that's not chapter 2. That's after that fight. You then play as the other 3. You first start with the Kavesi characters, and then you start with and then you continue as the Agnes characters, and that's really well done in my opinion. You're forced to play as Noah for a while, and then Uni for a little bit, and then you go straight to Mio, and then it's until chapter 2 where you can finally play as whoever you want, and that's fine because chapter 1 took me 2 hours to get through my first playthrough, and yeah, the game really opens up when you get going, and yeah, obviously. As for switching arts and or classes, I mainly went with the same their own classes. I didn't switch that much. My favorite character to play as is Mio. I'm not sure why. I think it kind of means yeah, I think it's because of when you connect your hit, your art will go, your cooldown will, whatever it's called. I think that kind of means I like Xenoblade 2 combat better than 1. Interesting. But yeah, then you go to the Gara Plains of the game, and you see not Rotbart, and it just doesn't feel the same, honestly. They had one job. Why take that away from us? It's like they were aware of the memes and just said, yeah, let's just no. Anyway, yeah. So I I've talked to a lot of people about this, and it said it took them until like chapter 3 to get into the game. Like, I'm a very easily impressed individual. Like, you don't need to do much in order to impress me. Like, or to like get me excited or get me going. Because I was like already hooked at like the first in the first chapter. Like, if you, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I heard a lot of people say that chapter 2 is like the weakest, and I can definitely see why. Not too much happens there, but there's still a lot of great character moments and uh, world building too. And skipping ahead to like the fight with Console K, honestly, of all the consoles, I think I like K the most because I don't know, he's just so funny to me. Like, if you're not gonna be super over the top threatening, at least be super over the top funny, I guess. But he definitely had a lot of good moments for like his short time there. Like, here comes the big bad boss. Boo! Like, what? Okay, I don't know. But and then the Mobius theme kicks in, and it's like that theme gets so easily stuck in your head. In my opinion, it's been stuck in my head for days since my the first day I played, and I'm like, it's still there. I love it so much. And oh yeah, the cutscene, like destroying the flame clock and shit, that was like super epic. Again, the cutscenes are really well done, as in other Xenoblade games too. Chapter 3. For some reason, I think Chapter 3, I keep forgetting what happens. I think Chapter 3 might be the weakest for me, honestly. It starts to like flesh out Tyon's character, but then you gotta like you get Ethel as your first hero, and then you do her quest. Then you go to yeah, I can like barely remember for some reason. I need to. I should have paid attention more. But then you go inside this cave, and like reminds me of Ether Mine for some reason. It's got the elevators and the ether crystal looking stalagmites in there. So it definitely reminded me of that area. Uh, and that's like when you get Rico and Manana as heroes. Like like most people, I thought they were going to be like the first heroes because they're like shown in almost every trailer, or maybe every trailer too. I don't know, but yeah, it's really jarring to see that Ethel is the first hero. Hmm. And like I don't know if it was Nintendo's fault, but they kind of spoiled that Ethel was going to be a hero in like that poster or shit. But that didn't. It wasn't really a spoiler to me. I kind of figured that she was going to be hero, like a temporary hero, but like majority like villain and a temporary hero in the future. But no, the first one. Hmm. But I really enjoy using her class. It's like one of my favorites. It kind of reminds me of Morag's weapons. You know, but it's not like it doesn't turn into like flame whips or anything. It's just two lightsabers, I guess. I shouldn't say that. It's not lightsaber. Yeah. Back to chapter 3. Then you like are being chased by these guys, these Agnes warriors. They like who like smoke around you. You got to figure out a way to get out. You go through the water, and when you do that, you go to Commander Izzard. That's like one of Tyon's mentors, I think. Yeah, I know who he is. I just forgot like what to call him. Um, and then I'm like, okay, he makes his little speech. He walks out, makes his little speech, goes back inside. Okay, wait, are we gonna fight this guy? the camera zooms out, and we fight this like massive Feronis. I'm like, we're fighting the entire thing. Is this Xenoblade X? What the fuck? I've never seen a boss fight this huge in Xenoblade before. I don't know. Have I? Are there? What's the biggest boss fight? I'd say Yaldabaoth, but I think this is 10 times bigger than Yaldabaoth. I don't know. But that was like the first boss fight that made me go, wow, this is crazy. But it's not my favorite, though. We'll get there. And then you have the cutscene where the Agnes characters get their Ouroboros forms. And honestly, in my opinion, they look way better than the Kavesi Ouroboros forms. Especially Mio. Like, what were they thinking with Mio's Ouroboros form? It looks beautiful. Like, wow. Let's see. After that, you go to Mac the Wildwoods, and before you enter there, like there's this pathway, and out of nowhere you see this giant dragon. It looks like the dragon from Prison Island in DE, and I'm like, bruh. But it was such a pointless fight. Well, story-wise, I think it just like teaches you a new mechanic or something. Like before that, you get the Ouroboros orders for chain attacks when you fight Yorin. And I don't think it teaches you that, but it's still necessary, I guess. I don't know. And like let's talk about the characters for a second. This has to be like the best cast in Xenoblade history, honestly. There's not a single character in this cast that I don't like. I can name like at least one in every other. Like there's Sharla in one. There's Tora. Yeah, I'm not a Tora fan in 2. And Xenoblade X characters, the one that should not be named. But for this cast, like, Noah is great. Uni is fucking hilarious. Lons is great. Senna is awesome. Tyon is a really well done character. Like, I'm very surprised. I didn't feel like I was gonna like him. And Mio turned out to be like Mio went from my least favorite character to my favorite character in the entire game. We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, I just love this new cast. It's amazing. And then you get to the fight with Ethel and Kamarabi. I'm like, wait, we're fighting both of them? Jesus. I kind of got stuck on them for a while. And I had the game on easy mode. Yeah, I get it, skill issue. But that was a really cool fight, honestly. That was another fight that made me go, wow. I love when a game does that. Like, I can only name like 1 or 2 fights in DE that made me go, wow. And like just one fight in 2 that made me go, wow. The one fight in 2 being like Malice has has his own Monado and shit. But we're getting on topic. Yeah, and the cutscene that follows, I did not expect them to die so early in the game. This is chapter 4. I get it. That's basically halfway through, but I didn't know that. I thought there would be like 10 chapters. There's only 7. But yeah, Kamarabi is fucking badass. It just, I don't know if he stabs his own eye or just yanks it out, but oh my god, that's gross. And I love their like I love Ethel and Kamarabi's chemistry. Like 2 warriors just destined to fight and shit. They're very passionate. They're very passionate about the way they fight each other. It's amazing. Like I love it. It just fits so well. But then after they die, you fight these 2 clowns like P and O, and they're like the worst characters in the game. Honestly, I don't know. They're even bigger clowns than K. They're just nothing characters, just transform into this ugly beast, I guess. And that's the last time that we hear the weight of life. Like, really? For these characters? I'm pretty sure that's the last time we hear the weight of life in the game. I don't remember it being after that. But yeah, it's still a good cutscene. Everyone it does a really great job, especially with the voice acting. It's better this time than in two. It actually feels like the voice acting has direction now. Anyway, then you go to, oh my god, where you get close to Kavesi Castle. That's not what you call it, but still, whatever. And I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see Melia. For those of you that don't know, Melia might be my favorite character, not just in Xenoblade, but in all of fiction. And I've been waiting so long to see what they do with her in the game. I've been thinking for like the longest while that she was going to turn out to be a villain. And at first, I didn't know how to feel about that. But when I thought about it, like a few days later, I'm like, this could actually work. What if Melia turns evil? Would that be? I thought to myself, would that be like a disservice to her character, or a really interesting like step in her? I don't know, but yeah, you like sneak your way into the castle. First, you fight Wild Ride again, and you find out that well, that's not where you find out, but the characters find out that Yorin is with D. You see D. I'm glad that like not all the consoles are someone that you met before. That would have been like really. I don't want to say lazy writing, but just that would have been too easy to make every single console. I like how some of them are. No, the majority of them are people that you've never met before. It's just Yorin that the characters know. But yeah, that fight, yeah, that fight with Wild Ride when you're going to like destroy the Annihilator is really well done. I'm like, I, yeah, you see him in the first chapter. Oh, this guy's like a fucking clown. But no, in chapter 4, he like obliterates the entire team. When he like he chops off their fucking arms, and I'm like, bro, this ain't no. But I was like, is that gone for good? No, they can regenerate or some shit. But that was really fucking cool, and kind of solidifies him as like one of the great villains of the game. But he's not my favorite villain. He's a very close second. I'll tell you that much. And yeah, just overall entertaining as fuck. Definitely as entertaining as Mubkar was. But in my opinion, he lasts a bit longer than Mumkar does because Mumkar like dies halfway through the game in DE, and Wild Ride in Chapter 6, and that's like near the end of the game. But yeah, after you fight Wild Ride, uh, then you get to the throne room, and my heart starts like, oh my heart starts beating out of my chest. I'm like, where is she? What is going on? And then she descends from above, and oh my god, it's her. It's her. And then we see N, who is my favorite character, well, villain at least. And well, he doesn't. We don't fight him yet, but he's just really cool. Uh, yeah, he's just cool. But then Melia gives her little speech about, Ouroboros, you suck, die now. And I'm like, are we fighting her? And then the camera zooms out, and we're fighting her. I had to pause the game. I had to pause the game and just collect myself. I was not ready for that at all. Like, whew. And then she starts using like familiar arts and shit. And oh my god, stop doing this to me, game. And even the music, oh my god, that easily one of my favorite fights in the entire game. Like, oh man, I can't. I was just so speechless, dumbfounded even. And my first time playing, I got a chain attack when she was like at this level of health, and yeah, I was doing it, but I wasn't getting the overkill. I was like, why isn't she dying? Is this plot armor? And yeah, it is plot armor, because thank God I don't have to kill Melia. But then it turns out she's a robot. Yeah, Did not see that coming. Hmm. That kind of takes away my theory of her being evil, obviously. But yeah, a robot. Interesting. But I'm like, where is the real Melia? Where is she, dude? I need to find her. But then the team gets rescued by these guys called the Lost Numbers, I think. Yeah, and they like start shooting at N, and this guy just goes full anime mode and just starts wiggling his fucking like sword left it, bro. When I saw that, I just died laughing. It was just so funny and epic at the same time. But yeah, the team get away, and then like another. It's obvious that it's a bit obvious that N is like another Noah, but I did not expect to see another Mio like just appear out of nowhere and walk towards him. That was really shocking to me, honestly. Then we get to chapter 5. We start wearing these eye patches, and I'm like, nice, very nice. I see what you did there, game. That's like the only Xenogears reference that I got. I at least I think it's a Xenogears reference. Like Bart, I believe his name is. Yeah. Then you go to the city, and I think like the city is my favorite area, like story wise, because it just has a nice vibe to it, you know. And the characters go to the infirmary, and they literally learn about fucking sex education. It's so funny. Like, who wants to know where babies came from? They all just immediately put their hands up. Like, oh man, those who know. Uh, and then they go back outside and see like they see like a couple kissing, and Noah and Mio turn to each other and give that little embarrassed look at each other. And I'm like, ooh, is this foreshadowing? Huh. I ship it. I ship it. I like where this is going. But yeah, the city is really cool, and the music is so chill. I love it so much. Then I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's a boat in the game. The boat sucks. I hate the boat controls, but it could be worse. It is nice to sail around Erythia Sea, and it's like, in my opinion, like the most gigantic area in. I don't know. It just feels the most gigantic to me, because like I've been playing the game for 2 weeks now, and I'm still discovering like new islands in Erythia. But yeah. Let's see. Next, you go to the prison, which, in my opinion, is the worst part of the game. It's like the only part of the game where I legitimately felt bored. We meet Gondor, which is Gondor is just a fucking mood, dude. I love Gondor. Some people don't. I don't care. Gondor is amazing. Fuck you. I'm sorry. uh, but yeah, as for the prison being boring, it's like you do these tasks for like 3 days, and I'm like, get on with it already. Like, I've spoken to a friend. He said, like, it adds like realism, and I'm like, okay, but this is Xenoblade, right? where's the fucking magic swords and shit? Or I don't know. But what followed? What followed from the most boring part of the game was one of the best parts of the game, where you're finally trying to escape. You got your friends coming to get you out, the Lost Numbers, and then you get surrounded by N and M and his troops and shit. And I'm like, oh boy, shit's about to go down. Like, you first fight M, and like, this is my favorite fight in the game. The first phase is like normal, but in the next cutscene, you have her like controlling one character at a time. I'm like, oh my god, we're doing this now. That moment when she was controlling Tyon, and then he was like, no, it's me. oh, it's you, Tyon. I lied. That was fantastic. That was very well written. Like, oh man. it was really scary and exciting at the same time. And then like Tyon figures out that he can use his Mondo to find out who the imposter is. And then it's like the most creative fight in the game. Like you see you in the fight, you see like the Mondo all over the place. And when M uses her power, you see it floating over one character that's and yeah, you start seeing them attacking you. You just they don't have that much HP, so you just like deal with them before you get back to Mio or M. And yeah, really cool fight. Really cool fight. Then you fight N for the first time, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy, this guy kicks our ass. It's like in Xenoblade 2, where you win in game, but you lose in the cutscene, and that's exactly what happens. And the fact that Lons and Senna were like so okay with like sacrificing themselves to save, or was it to save Mio? But I don't know. That was just like that kind of got to me a bit. But no, it didn't happen. Thank God, though. Because I love Lons and Senna. But yeah, then we lose, and we're off to prison in the Agnes Castle, I believe. Yeah, and like we're like there for a month. I was like, dude, I feel so hopeless. I'm like, there's got to be a way to get out of here. But no, they're like forced to wait an entire month, and that's like how much time Mio has before she dies, before her homecoming. And I'm like, this is not happening right now. Like where's the Deus Ex Machina? Where's like the last minute save or anything? But no, they start playing the flutes. Everyone's like really upset, and then you start to see Mio fade away, and I'm like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? Mio's dead. Mio's fucking dead. What are we gonna do now? We're dead. Oh yeah, and decides to chop our heads off, and now we're in heaven. What? I had to pause the game to just wrap my head around everything that's happened. What? What do we do? What? Yeah. But as it turns out, M, during that fight, transferred like her consciousness into Mio's, like something. Like she like switched consciousness with. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but basically, M became Mio, and Mio became M. And yeah, because like I believe the explanation was like M was like just didn't want to be with N anymore because of how he was and shit. Like a changed man, I guess. I need to watch it again to get the full explanation. I'm sorry for not doing it well here, but you get what I mean. If you beat the game, you understand. I just thought that was a really well done scene, and like, oh my god, these characters can yell. I love it. Like, just everything that happens in the beginning of the end of chapter 5 and the beginning of chapter 6, that's just amazing. Possibly the best part in the entire game. I was crying at that point. It was just so well done, honestly. You fight N for, like, again. It's like you just fought N and you fight him again, but it doesn't feel like rushed or anything. It definitely, because you got to sit through like over an hour of cutscenes before you fight him again. So yeah, and then you fight Nia, and it's not just Nia. It's like her inside her ship or something. I was kind of hoping to fight her like standalone, but you know, it works out. Oh, and as for the Lucky Seven, did we ever get an explanation of how it works? Besides, it can just cut shit? Because this sword might be yeah, it might be the least explained for me. I I don't know how it works, and it's like no one knows exactly how it works because in chapter three, when the Labanda Feronis shoots that beam, he knew that the gauntlet could like block it, and I'm like, okay, where did he learn that? I don't understand. But cool cutscene is cool. Cool cutscene. Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as everything is just really epic. But if I am missing something, then that's my fault. I apologize. uh, chapter 6 now. Chapter 6 might be the shortest chapter, honestly. Yeah, you just go through a snow area, very small snow area. You're forced to do a side story that honestly I'm not a fan of, and then you go to meet Mia. Then you go to meet Nia, and the Drifting Souls remix starts, and oh my god, like yeah, I am a Xenoblade 2 fan, but not as much as like real Xenoblade 2 fans that really, really enjoy the game. I still love it, and the Drifting Souls is like my favorite song, and yeah. But then you fight Wild Ride for the third time after like shooting a nail through her chest. I'm like, did they really just kill Nia? Like, I saw this thing like yeah like just the game focuses on you know finishing up or wrapping up Yoren's character with Lons and whatnot. But like the entire time, I'm like, is Nia okay? Is Nia okay? Like I don't. I'm honestly not that big a fan of Yoren. Like he could have been a lot better. I'm really sorry to say. Not a fan of his character and story, but it's better than nothing, I guess. At least it gives Lons something, you know. And Dee's backstory too. Yeah, like I said before, he's kind of like Mumkar. Okay, he's a lot like Mumkar, except like more fucked up. But it doesn't make sense that he's from Agnes. If he were like connected to Mumkar in a way, why is he from Agnes and not Kevis? Because he even has like those wolf claws that Mumkar used in the first cutscene in DE, which is even stranger because like we're trying to connect this guy to Mumkar, but the game is telling us otherwise or something. I don't know. But yeah, farewell Wild Ride. I guess you were very entertaining. And yeah, it turns out Neo's okay. Just a flesh wound. Yeah, nothing major. Just a hole through the chest, I guess. Um, then at the beginning of chapter 7, she gives you like a huge exposition dump. But it's not it's well done, obviously. And then oh my god, and then we finally see Melia too, and I just lost my mind, dude. I may or may not have been paying attention at some of the lower points when Melia was on screen because I was just admiring how gorgeous she was in this like art style. Like I don't know, she just looks fantastic. Like, but both her and Nia, they're both really well done, even though like they're barely in the game. But it's fine that they're not like all over the place because that would like take focus away from the new characters if they were to have a lot more screen time. I guess that's just me. And chapter 7, you gotta make the this guy literally says we're gonna need a bigger boat, and we go inside the final area, Origin, and I really like the final area. It looks really cool and whatnot, and the lore behind it is rather interesting too. But I'm not gonna get into that because I don't fully understand it yet. But yeah, you fight N one last time in Origin, right after, no, right before saving Melia, and that it was at that point where I was like, yeah, N might be the second best well written character in this entire game. Like his backstory, that cutscene of him losing his son, that's like another time that I cried because that was a legitimately sad scene, honestly. But yeah, N is like up there with Egil and Jin from one and two, and yeah, I've got like my favorite villains in all three now: Egil, Jin, and N. And yeah, then we go to fight Zed. As for Zed, I'm not that big a fan of his. Okay, I like his character. It's just not. He's just not up to par with the rest. I don't know. In terms of the big bads, he looks pretty fucking cool, and he's and the boss fight takes like 10 years though. But I'm okay with that because it's really epic. Like, and especially when like Alchemoth turns into like a fucking giant mech, and so does like the Agnes Castle too. It's it's so funny to me. And then Melia and Nia like in the final phase come to join the fight. Yeah, I screamed at that point. I'm like, yes, are they heroes? They're gonna be heroes in the New Game Plus, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, but the final fight was pretty epic, but can't say it's like my favorite conclusion. But you know, as for the ending, a lot of people that I've talked to are very mixed about the ending. Some say it's bittersweet, some say it's just fine. Um, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Like it's 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 good enough for the story as is. There are a lot of questions that I still have about the game, but it's yeah, it's you know, it's not uh, it's not bad. It's not super fantastic. I didn't have like huge expectations or whatever, but for what it is, it's a really nice ending to me. Even though I still have a lot of questions, but we still have the DLC to think about. I guess that's not going to come out for another while, so we're just going to have to sit here and think. I guess. Um. Yeah. The end. Oh my god. The end where like it starts splitting up, and oh my fuck's sake, man! I love these characters. Oh no, Noah and Mio. Oh my god, let's go, let's fucking go. But yeah, then we cut to Melia. She's got the Monado REX like in her room, just right there, like bro. And then we cut to Nia, and then like this pod opens up, and then and then Poppy pops out. Here's my reaction to that. I literally went like this as soon as Poppy went out. I was like, Poppy, my girl, what are you doing here? Yeah, it was a huge fanboy moment, honestly. And of course, we see the infamous picture that may have spoiled one or two people before the game was released of Rex and the Xenoblade 2 cast with some babies, and the interpretation or that people or what people think of that picture is both cursed and could possibly be accurate. I don't want to think about it. I honestly don't want to think about it. It's just it's cute, but it's cursed at the same time. The pig, because when you really take a close look, you start to really think about it. But regardless, it's still really good to see them again. And even if it's like at the very end of the game, and I can't believe that it turned out to be real because I personally got spoiled on that too. But you know, it didn't ruin my experience. I still had a blast with the game. But yeah. As for the characters, let's go through the characters. Why not? Noah. At the start, Noah didn't really like give me the same vibes as Shulk or Rex. not to say that I'm trying to compare them. I'm just saying like he hasn't really grown onto me as a protagonist because like I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. He was a bit boring, honestly. It was like very stock. But as the game goes on, he becomes really excellent. Like I just wish that throughout the entire thing he was excellent. But it's fine. He's still I still enjoyed his character and shit. Um, I'm gonna save the best for last. Let's go to Uni. Uni Uni might be the funniest character in the game, and of course she's got the sass and shit, but she does have a lot of good serious moments too. Like I'm a huge fan of her character because the fact that she got killed by D was like, oh my god, that imagine seeing like your dead body right in front of you, and like that's like yeah, that's basically how it went with her. But she still had a lot of funny moments and like some of the best moments too. She's honestly one of the best characters in the game. They all are. I love all the characters. I can't say that enough. As for Lons, yeah, Lons might not have the might be the one with the least amount, either him or Senna, but they still had enough moments to really keep me invested in both of them. Like and like Senna was like very relatable at this one point in the game. But yeah, like they're just all amazing. And as for Mio, oh my god, dude! Like I said, Mio was like the character I was least interested in when the game was first like announced and shit, because everyone thought like of course like, many people thought it was going to be Nia, but no, her name is Mio. But we all thought she was like related to Nia. But no, I completely forgot about all of that talk when the game finally played and like you see who she really is. But as I said, yeah, she's like the best written character in the entire game. I love her so much, honestly. I used to be like the biggest fan of Uni first, but now it's Mio. Yeah. As for the gameplay, yeah, this might be the best gameplay in any of the games. Like, it's just so much fun. Not gonna go too in depth with it. That's like for other people to talk about, Xenotubers to be exact. But yeah, like let's see, let's start some rating, I guess. The story. There was only one part, like I said, there was only one part of the game where I honestly felt bored, and yeah, my problems, some problems with the story. One part where I was officially bored with the story, and there's still some things I don't understand, and I've heard a lot of criticisms that make sense about the story. So, but it's still great on its own. But my friends say like as a conclusion, it's not that great. But for what it is, I love it a lot, and I think I'll give it an honest like 8 out of 10. The story. As for the characters, oh my god, the characters get a 9 out of 10, all of them combined, because they're not perfect, but they're the best cast in the entire Xenoblade series, in my opinion. And the gameplay, yeah, the gameplay gets. I think it might get a 10 out of 10. I really enjoy the gameplay in this, and yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Like, just going through the entire game, like watching all the cutscenes and shit, seeing them go through what they go through. I can't like recall any other game that's made me feel this way besides all three Xenoblade games. Uh, sure, I haven't played that many JRPGs, but if this can like be the same, If they can give me the same vibe as Xenoblade, then I'm down to play like anything you guys suggest. Maybe I don't know. It depends if I'm interested or not. But it's only been Xenoblade that I've ever been interested in playing, and like yeah, I've been playing since 2016 with the first game, and wow, 6 years to get to this point. That's crazy. But yeah, I think I think that's going to be about it. So, if you've managed to stay this long and watch the entire thing, thank you so much for watching and hearing my thoughts about the game. If you haven't beaten the game, then you just got spoiled. But in all seriousness, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Not sure what my next video is going to be. I doubt it's going to be Xenoblade related, but we'll see. So have a good day. See ya.